So tonight we're doing a savory fish stew. The base is from a recipe book called Cook Instant for the Instant Pot. It's a savory cod stew, but I'm going to make a number of substitutions. The first one being I'm not using cod. I'm actually going to use pollock because it's a little more economical. It also calls for celery, but instead I'm going to use celery root. And it calls for potatoes, which I'm not going to put in because I'm going to use celery root. It calls for carrots, and I'm going to use butternut squash. Those two will substitute out the potatoes. So first we need to make sure the knife is good and sharp. And there's a number of different ways of doing this. A lot of people are afraid to do it with the blade towards them. Putting the steel down and doing it this way works well as well, or even away from you. But I'm not comfortable this way. I just learned it the other way. So now that we've done that, we'll get rid of the steel and we can begin chopping. This is a celery root. It's literally a root. Has celery flavor, but more of a potato-like consistency. So we're going to replace a potato with this and maintain the celery flavor with it as well. And as you cut into it, you can actually smell the smell of celery. So I'm making the substitutions mostly because, for the carrots, because they have a very high glycemic index, so that's a lot of sugar in them. So we tend not to eat many carrots. And potatoes have very high starch and high glycemic index as well. So we don't eat too much of that either. So I try to stay out of the high glycemic index, mostly for my wife's sake. Now the recipe calls for 2 cloves of garlic, so that's what I've got here. Now I've got some very nice organic garlic. And these are 2 very large cloves. You don't have to use this if you don't like this size. And all I'm doing now is making it so that I can peel the skin off easily. So now with garlic, now it doesn't generally bother me or my wife, but garlic may bother some people. And what I've recently discovered is that it's this center bit called the germ that is problematic for many people. So for this particular recipe, I'll take it out. So it just pops right out of the center, and you can get rid of that. And that's the hard part for digesting. There we go. And we're ready to go. So there, garlic nicely minced. And for mincing an onion, one of the easiest ways to do that, if you don't know, slice it down through the root so that the root holds it together, and then just score it like this all the way along. but not through the root. Let the root hold it together. And then when you cut it, and then when you go to cut, if you put your fingers behind your knuckles and hold it in the back, it holds it together, and you're not going to cut your fingers either. So there we go. You can see it's already minced when it comes right off. It's very nice. Now we'll do the butternut squash. Now a lot of people have a hard time cutting, making nice little pieces when it's round like this. One of the easiest ways, cut the side off. Now it's flat to work with. And you cut the next side off all the way around. Now you have a relatively rectangular piece. You can make relatively even slices. Like that. And then we can go on a different side. And go again. So you see nice even pieces ready for the pot. Now the original recipe calls for bacon, but I can't eat bacon, so I'm just going to use butter to be able to sauté this. Okay, so while those vegetables are sauteing up, I'm going to cut the pollock into proper sized pieces. Now, I'm just using frozen, but fresh would serve much better. But like I said, this is more economical. Alright, so the pollock is ready to go. Just get that up and out of the way for now. The recipe calls for coarse cut plum tomatoes, and I just happen to have whole ones in the tin here, so I'm going to take them out and cut them up a bit before putting them in. Now, the juice that is in the tin goes into the recipe as well, so don't throw it out. So now everything but the fish goes in, so we'll go in with the tomatoes and the sauce. And we're going to put in the butternut squash, which will be potato. I'll post the whole recipe up after as well. It calls for a cup of clam juice. Now, we can't eat clams, so I'm just using chicken stock. Calls for 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. So this gets to cook on pressure for 2 minutes. So we'll just set that for 2 minutes. It's got to get up to pressure and then cook, and then we'll add the fish after. Alright, so the first cook is completed. So we release the pressure. And as it happens, I actually forgot the salt and pepper on the first go round, but that's okay because on this recipe there's actually a second cook for the fish, so we're going to add the salt and pepper on this time around. Alright, so we add some salt. And some fresh pepper. The recipe also calls for some fresh parsley, which I don't have, but I do have some dried basil. I'll add a little bit of that. You don't need as much because when it's dried, it actually has a stronger flavor. So you don't need as much than as if you would be using fresh. Also now the fish goes in. Alright, and we'll give it a stir. And it smells fabulous. So now we put it back on for a second cook. Make sure that that's set for cooking, and goes back on, and the recipe calls for 1 minute more.